ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। दशरथनन्दन रामा दया सागरा रामा दशरथनन्दन रामा दया सागरा रामा दशमुखमर्दन रामा दैत्यकुलान्तक रामा दशमुखमर्दन रामा दैत्यकुलान्तक रामा लक्ष्मणसेवित रामा सीतावल्लभ रामा लक्ष्मणसेवित रामा सीतावल्लभ रामा सूक्ष्मस्वरूपा रामा सुन्दररूपा रामा सूक्ष्मस्वरूपा रामा सुन्दररूपा रामा दशरथनन्दन रामा दया सागरा रामा दया सागरा रामा तू है अनाथ बंधो करुणा सिंधु तू है अनाथ बंधो करुणा सिंधु। ओम गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव। तू है अनाथ बंधो करुणा सिंधु। ओम गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव। दुख और दर्द दूर करो। दुख और दर्द दूर करो। सुख का कारण दुख का निवारण। सुख का कारण दुख का निवारण। मैं क्या जानूं तेरी महिमा। मैं क्या जानूं तेरी महिमा। माया में आवे सब ही अंधेरा। माया में आवे सब ही अंधेरा। तू है अनाथ बंधो करुणा सिंधु। ओम गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव। जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसराओ। जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसराओ। बंधन कोटि सूत्रास निवारो। बंधन कोटि सूत्रास। बंधन कोटि सूत्रास निवारो। बंधन मैं क्या जानूं तेरी लीला। मैं क्या जानूं तेरी लीला। माया में आवे सब ही अंधेरा। माया में आवे सब ही अंधेरा। तू है अनाथ बंधो करुणा सिंधु। Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram.
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 Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram.
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 Humble prostrations to one and all present here. So for the 3 days, starting from today, we are going to take up the topic called Vibhīṣaṇa Śaraṇāgati. Śaraṇāgati means what? Surrender. Surrender of Vibhīṣaṇa to Bhagvan Sri Ramachandraji. Where does this portion come? This portion comes in Sundarakand of Ramayana. Not Valmiki Ramayana, but Tulasi Rāmāyaṇa. Tulasi Rāmāyaṇa is a very sweet Ramayana. Okay? It is sweetened with devotion for God. So with respect to devotion, Tulasi Rāmāyaṇa is sweeter than Valmiki Ramayana. And therefore, this Tulasi Rāmāyaṇa is very popular. In fact, more popular than the original Valmiki Ramayana. To such an extent that there are very many people who know the entire Tulasi Rāmāyaṇa by heart, especially in the North India. So now we are going to take one portion from that Ramayana. So here Vibhīṣaṇa leaves Ravana, leaves Lanka, comes to Bhagvan Sri Ramachandraji and surrenders. This is a portion. And Bhagwan accepts it. But this small portion is filled with lot of spiritual message. So what is this talk all about? So for these 3 days, we are going to talk about only 3 topics. Devotion, devotee, Bhakti, Bhakta and Bhagvan. What is the nature of a true devotee? What is the nature of Bhagwan? And what is the nature of Bhakti? So therefore, anyone who wants to develop devotion for God, this session will be helpful. Okay? Yes. Shall we proceed then? Yes. So now, the scene is this. Hanumanji had burnt the entire Lanka. He had gone back. Now all the Lankavasis are scared. They were thinking that this one monkey, one messenger of Rama could do so much. In fact, Hanumanji had killed one of the sons of Ravana also. What is his name? Akshay Kumar. One son of Ravana was killed and he had burned the entire Lanka and Ravana could not capture him and successfully he left Lanka. You know, like that kabaddi player, touching everybody and then going back. So then everybody was scared. So then Ravana's court is the scene. Everybody was scared, but nobody had the courage to speak to Ravana the reality. That Ravana's Rakshasa army was nothing compared to Bhagwan Ramachandraji's Vanara army. There's no comparison, but nobody had the courage. So Ravana asked in the court, what is the latest update? So then the messenger comes and says, O Lord, Rama's army has come to the other side of the ocean shore. The army is camped there. This is the latest news. So then Ravana asks, what are we supposed to do? Now all these courtiers, they were all sycophants, flatterers. They did not want to tell the truth. So they said, O Lord, they are mere monkeys and human beings. Why should we be scared of them? The Rakshasas are all powerful, so therefore we need not do anything. Inside they had fear, but externally they did not show anything. So there is a piece of wisdom given here. Sachiv Vaid Guru Tini Jo Priya Bolahi Bhaya Aas Raj Dharma Tan Tini Kar Hoi Begani Naas. How many of you know Hindi? How many of you don't know Hindi? So no problem, talk is in English only. Okay. So what he said here is, if these three people, they start telling lies, they are dishonest. Were they Sachiv, Vaid, Guru? So this is Avadh language, okay? The sweetened colloquial version of Hindi. The village language. So Lakshmi will be Lechi here. Very easy to pronounce. No difficulty. So, what is being said here? If these three people, Sachiv, a minister, Vaid means Vaidya, physician, a doctor, Guru, if these three people start telling lies, why should they tell a lie? Bhaya Aas, out of fear or out of desire for wealth or whatever. If these three people start speaking lie, what will happen? When a minister speaks a lie, kingdom is gone. When a minister speaks lie to a king, his kingdom will be gone. When his physician starts speaking lie to his patient, what is gone? Body is gone. Then health is gone, of course. And then start telling lies, then what is gone? Dharma is gone. A person's spiritual progress is gone. And this was exactly what was happening in the court of Ravana. Nobody was telling the truth. Everybody was telling lie out of fear of Ravana. So this was the scenario. सोई रावण कब बनी सहाई, अस्तुति करहि सुनाई सुनाई. All these flatterers, they were just pumping the ego of Ravana. You are a great man. Who can defeat you? You are the conqueror of the three worlds. Nothing to worry. This is the way all of them were speaking. It was at that time Vibhīṣaṇa enters into the court. Till then he was not there. Avasara jani Vibhīṣaṇu āva. What did he do? Bhrata charana sisute. As he entered the court, first he prostrated to Ravana, his elder brother. Puni sirunai baith nij asan. Then he went to his place. Going down to Ravana at his place, he sat down. Bola vachana pai anusasan. Then Ravana said, Vibhīṣaṇa, now you speak. What should we do? What should we do? So then Vibhīṣaṇa said, O Lord, know that you are asking this. I will speak what I understand and what is good for you. O Lord, काम क्रोध मद लोभ सब नाथ नरक के पंथ सब परिहरि रघुबीर ही भजहु भजहि जेहि संत. O Lord, these are all the doorways to hell. What are the doorways? Kama, Krodha, Mada, Lobha. Kama means what? Desires, lust. Krodha, anger. Mada, arrogance. Lobha, greed. Actually it comes in 6, no? What are the 6? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada and Matsarya, jealousy. So what are they? Sab nath narak ke panth. O Lord, all these things will lead you only to hell, only to suffering. Auspiciousness will never come. So a person who is desiring his welfare and well-being should never take to these paths. If a person truly wants his own welfare, well-being, prosperity, happiness, here and hereafter, should never follow these paths. Now you will find that in this Tulasi Rāmāyaṇa, the language is the language of villager, but the wisdom present is from the scriptures, from the Vedas, from the Upanishads, from the Bhagavad Gita. So what is the similar verse present in Bhagavad Gita? Trividham narakasyedam dvaram nashanam atmanah kama krodhastatha lobha tasmadetattrayam tyajet. The same verse is put in a different way. Content is the same. Language may be different. So there it is said, Trividham narakasyedam. There are 3 doorways to hell. What are they? Kama, Krodhas, Tatha, Lobha. Tasmat etatrayam tyajet. Therefore give up these 3. So this is what is present in Bhagavad Gita. The same thing is put here. There is a beautiful question asked by Arjuna in the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. What is that? What is that question? Huh? That is the answer. What is the question? Athakena, yes. Athakena prayuktoyam papam charati purushaha anichannapi varshneya baladiva niyojitaha. Bhagwan, why is it that people commit sin? Knowing very well that it is sin, even then we are forced to commit sin. As though some force, external force is forcing us. Why is it that we commit sin? What does Bhagwan answer? Kama esha krodha esha rajo guna samudbhavaha mahashano mahapapma vidhyena miha vairinam. Arjuna, this kama, this krodha. So it has to be understood, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. These negative emotions, when do they possess our mind? Rajoguna samudbhava. Here is a very important tip for all of us. What is the important tip? When the mind is in rajasic mode, all these things come. Not when the mind is in sattvic mode. Rajoguna samudbhava. So when the mind is in rajas, the mind will be possessed by any of this. Guarantee. But what is the problem with this? Mahashana. Ashana means the eater. Mahashana means what? Great eater. It will eat away everything of yours. Everything good of yours. Your name, your fame, your shame, your possession, your position, your health, your peace of mind, your clarity of thinking, anything that is there good in you, everything will be destroyed. When these negative emotions possess you. But when do these negative emotions possess us? When the mind is rajasic. So therefore the instruction given in Bhagavad Gita is Nitya Sattvastho Bhava. Always keep the mind sattvic, pure, quiet, peaceful, virtuous, noble. If the mind is peaceful, quiet, virtuous, noble, etc., then these enemies will not attack you. Only when the mind is in rajas, then only this danger comes. Because what happens when the mind is rajasic? Who rules the heart? Ego or the Lord? The ego rules the heart because one among the six is mother. All the others are the siblings of the ego, or the supporters of the ego. When our heart is ruled with this ego, ruled by ego, then anger comes naturally to us. Jealousy comes naturally to us. Desires come naturally to us. Mind becomes extroverted. Mind becomes disturbed. Hatred, revenge, jealousy, anger, stress, worry, tension, all the negatives are connected to one main thing. Who is that king whom all these servants follow? That king is the ego. Right. So these are all the great secrets of the within, of the world inside. Those people whose attention is always outside, they will never know what is happening inside. So therefore, people who regularly meditate, people who regularly do their spiritual sadhana, they know what is happening inside. So what do? The moment they find these negative traits inside, what do? They nip it in the bud. This is what all spiritual seekers are supposed to do. One part of your attention should always be inside. What is happening in the mind? What kind of thoughts are passing through the mind? Are they good thoughts or bad thoughts? If they are good thoughts, no problem. But if they are bad thoughts, very, very dangerous. Why? Because what is the law? Beware of your thoughts, because they become your words. Beware of your words, because they become your actions. Beware of your actions, because they become your habits. Beware of your habits, because they become your character. Beware of your character, because they finally determine your destiny. So everything starts from thoughts. Thoughts, words, deeds, habits, character. So since everything about my life, they are dependent on my thoughts. So what do wise people do? They take care of thoughts. They ensure that their thoughts are good and noble. They pay special attention. They have enough time in their life to pay attention to thoughts. That time is called a spiritual time. And because they spend enough time with their mind, paying attention to their mind, so this has become a habit to look within. So they have become experts in looking within. And therefore what happens? The moment a thought rises, a negative thought rises, they are able to detect these negative thoughts and they are able to eliminate these negative thoughts by substituting it with positive thoughts, good thoughts. Nipping in the bud is possible only for a regular meditator. A stitch in time saves 9. Right? So therefore the moment the mind enters into that rajasic state, immediately beware. Look within. Sit silently. Observe, detect, eliminate, substitute, strengthen. These are the 5-point technique of meditation. Observe the mind, detect the negative thoughts, eliminate the negative thoughts by substituting it with positive thoughts, and repeatedly entertain these good thoughts, noble thoughts, to such an extent that these noble thoughts become our habit. Should become our habit. Whatever be the situation, how much ever the challenging situation it may be, that situation should not force me to become negative. That is called a spiritual strength. How strong are you spiritually is determined by how you can remain positive even in the most tempting situations. In the extremely negative situations, stressful situations, can you remain peaceful, undisturbed? Yes, you are truly spiritually strong. Right? So, the point is this. If your mind is in sattvic state, you will be free from all these enemies. If you take any newspaper, all the negative news is because of what? Because of these 6 vices. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsya. The root cause is the ego. if a person is always alert with regarding to this, then his life will be very smooth, very peaceful, very cheerful. Every situation he will be able to beautifully handle. Because thoughts are noble, speech is noble, action is good, noble. So you beautifully handle all situations. So that is called as responding to situation, isn't it? What is the other one? Reacting to situation. Impulsively you react. Thoughtlessly you react. Act in haste, repent in leisure. That never happens with a true spiritual seeker. Because he is always alert. He is always vigilant. So that alert, vigilant living is spiritual living. Now the question comes, how to keep the mind sattvic all the time? The easiest way is turn the mind to God, who is the very embodiment of sattva, of goodness, remembrance of God. That is where japa comes into picture. If the mind is connected to God, you are connected to infinite goodness. So then the mind always remains sattvic, and that's exactly what Vibhīṣaṇa is telling here. Oh dear brother, these kama, krodha, lobha, etc., they are the direct highways to hell. So therefore, sab parihari raghubirahi bhajahu bhajane jahi sant. Oh dear brother, therefore worship that Supreme Lord, Raghuvir, Bhagwan Sri Ramachandraji. And this is what all the saintly people do. You also do that same thing. Don't become a victim of these negative emotions, which you already are. See? So Vibhīṣaṇa was not like others who were just praising Rāvaṇa. Vibhīṣaṇa was telling the fact as it is, without any fear. So, but brother, surrender unto that Bhagwan Sri Ramachandraji. Now you may think that he is an ordinary human being. Why should I surrender to him? No, brother, he is not an ordinary human being. He is Bhagwan himself. तात राम नहीं नर भूपाल भुवनेश्वर काल कर काल ब्रह्म अनामय अज भगवंता व्यापक अजित अनादि अनंता. Who is this Ramachandra ji? Oh brother, Ram nahi Narabhupala. He is not an ordinary human king. Who is he then? Bhuvaneshwar. He is the Lord of this universe. Kalahu Kar Kala. He is the death of death himself. Kalasya Kala. Means what? See, who is our death? Yamaraj. Okay, Lord Death. Yamaraj. But that Yamaraj also has got another death, He also perishes in time. Who decides his death? It is Bhagwan. That is one meaning. What is another meaning? Kalasya Kala means end of death. When do we really stop dying? Only when we get liberated. Otherwise it is Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam. We are born only to die. Right? So death again and again keeps coming to us. But can we put an end to death? Yes, by attaining liberation. When you are liberated, you are no more born, and therefore there is no question of death. So that Bhagwan who gives liberation. Who is he? Brahma Anamaya Aja Bhagavanta. He is that imperishable Lord, unborn Lord, which the Vedas call as Brahman or Om. He is all-pervading, He is unconquerable, He is beginningless, He is endless. And now He has taken a human form, He has taken an avatara. Now He is appearing in front of us in a human form. That avatara is called Rama avatara. Why has He come taking this form? Jana Ranjana Bhanjana Khala Prata. Jana Ranjana, to delight the devotees. Bhanjana Khala, to destroy the wicked. Which is that verse? Yada yada hi dharmasya glānirbhavati bharata abhyutthanam tadatmanam srajamyaham paritrāṇāya sadhūnām vināṣāya ca duṣkrutām dharma samsthapanārthāya Sambhavami yuge yuge. That very same thing is put here. You see? So that Lord who has taken avatar, what is the purpose of avatar? Dharma samsthapanārthāya sambhavami yuge yuge. For the sake of dharma samsthapana, for establishing righteousness, for establishing law and order, for establishing peace and harmony in the universe, Bhagwan takes avatar. Right. What does He do after taking avatar? What does He do? Paritrāṇāya sadhūnām vināṣāya ca duṣkrutām. So His job is to maintain peace and harmony. So who is the one who disturbs peace and harmony in the world? The wicked people, the unrighteous people, the sensuous, impure ones, isn't it? So what does Bhagavan do? He destroys them. How does He destroy? Now many times we think that destruction is killing. Not necessary. The first step is Sama, peaceful means. So what is the best way of destroying a wicked person? By destroying the wickedness in that person. Why is that person wicked? He is wicked because of his ignorance. He doesn't know. So the best way of destroying the wickedness in a person is by giving him right understanding, by giving him spiritual understanding. And if that person is available, if we can remove the wrong notion of that person, then what happens? That person's wickedness is destroyed. That sinner becomes a saintly person. This is the best way. This is the way of teaching. That is one among the very many purpose of avatar. So you will find in Krishna avatar, Bhagwan takes up this job of teaching. So you will find the Bhagavad Gita as the very essence of the whole Vedas. But suppose this person doesn't listen, continues with his wicked ways, not paying any attention to the right teaching, then Bhagwan will have to finally use danda. Samadana Bheda danda. Danda means punishment. The first step is not punishment. The first step is teaching, giving right understanding, lovingly advising the highest knowledge. So when we say Vinashaya cha dushkritam, this aspect has to be understood. Paritrāṇāya sadhūnām. Who is a sadhu? Sadhu doesn't mean a sannyasi wearing some ochre colored cloth. Sadhu means a good-hearted person. A person with right understanding. A person who knows that yes, in the hearts of everyone where that same Lord is residing. So every human being, every being, the heart Bhagavan himself is residing. The one who has this knowledge will love everyone. All the noble virtues automatically appear through him. Such a person is called a sadhu, good-hearted person. So when Bhagwan takes avatar, what does he do? He protects the sadhus. He increases their number in the society. So naturally, when good-hearted people increase in the society, there will be law and order, there will be peace and harmony. Isn't it? So this is what Bhagwan does when he takes avatar. So, Janaranjana Bhanjana Khala Prata Veda Dharma Rachaka Sunu Prata, oh dear brother. So that Bhagwan has taken this avatar in the human form, and this is what he is doing. So this Rama is not an ordinary human being, he is Bhagwan himself. Tahi Bairu Teji Naya Matha Pranatarati Bhanjana Raghunatha. So therefore, never be inimical to him, hostile to him, bow down to him, because that Bhagwan is Pranata Arati Bhanjana, destroyer of all afflictions of those who surrender unto him. Dehu Nath Prabhu Kahu Dehi Bhajahu Rama Binu Hetu Sanehi. That Bhagwan, his love is unconditional and infinite. If you go and surrender unto him, giving back Sita Mata, you go and surrender unto him, Bhagwan will never keep anything at heart. This fellow, he did this, I will never talk to him. I will never. No. He will immediately forgive you. Because he is an embodiment of love, unconditional love, infinite love. So, oh dear brother, you just go to Bhagwan, return Sita Mata, fall at his feet, surrender and seek forgiveness. He will surely forgive you. That is the nature of Bhagwan. Saranagaye Prabhu Tahuna Tyaga Viswadroha Krita Aghajehilaga. A person might have committed sin against the whole world. He might have committed the greatest sin, but if he goes to the Lord and surrenders unto him, Bhagavan will never forsake him. This is the nature of Bhagavan. Jasu Namatraya Tapana Savan Soi Prabhu Pragat Samuju Jiyaravan. That Lord, meditating upon whom all the afflictions, the sorrows, the threefold affliction. What are the threefold afflictions? Adhyatmika, Adi Bhautika and Adhyatmika. Adhyatmika, Adi Bhautika, Adi Deivika. Yes. Adhyatmika, sorrows within. What are the Adhyatmika sorrows? No health, no interest, boredom, stress, strain, all negativities. They are all called Adhyatmika Tapam. Adi Bhautika means what? Immediate surrounding. Adi Deivika means from the cosmic forces, earthquake, tsunami, etc. So all the afflictions, the one who surrenders unto the Lord, he will be free from all afflictions. So therefore, surrender unto him, O dear brother. Bar padalagamu vinaya karam dasasis parihari man mohamad bhajahu kosaladis. Oh dear brother, again and again I fall at your feet. This is my humble request to you. Give up this arrogance, give up this ego, give up this infatuation, the false pride, and then approach Bhagavan, surrender unto him. Dear brother, this is not my message. This message has come from Tulasi Rishi himself. Muni Tulasi nija shishyasana kahi pathaiya baat. Just now I have received this message from Tulasi Rishi, our grandfather, the great Rishi. He has sent this message through a messenger, and this is his message. So therefore I thought I will share with you at this right moment. So in that sabha, Malyavant was sitting. Who is Malyavant? Ravana's mother's brother. His uncle, we can say. Ravana's uncle. Malyavant was sitting. So when he heard this words of wisdom from Vibhīṣaṇa, he was very happy because he was a very good person, Malyavant. And when he heard this, he felt very happy. And then he said, Tat anujatava niti vibhūṣaṇa so uradharahu jogāda vibhīṣaṇa. Ravana, this Vibhīṣaṇa is niti vibhūṣaṇa. This Vibhīṣaṇa is an ornament of niti, of justice, of goodness, of right conduct. So therefore, whatever he says, listen to it. That is what is good for you. When Ravana heard this, he burst out in anger. He said, who is there? These two fellows, send them out. From the court. Two fellows means who? Malyavant and Vibhīṣaṇa. Send them out. Malyavant just got up, he went away. But Vibhīṣaṇa continued. See, this is the sign of true love. He continued. And what did he say? Sumati kumati sabke aur rahai, Nath purana nigama sakahi, Jahan sumati tah sampati nana, Jahan kumati tah vipati nidhana. Oh dear brother, Sumati and Kumati, both of them, it is there in the hearts of everyone. Sumati means what? Good thoughts. Kumati means what? Bad thoughts. These two thoughts are there in the hearts of everyone. This is what our Vedas, the Puranas, they all say. But Jahan sumatitaha sampati nana. Those people, now this is our choice. Whether to encourage good thoughts in us or to encourage bad thoughts. Those people who encourage good thoughts in them, what happens to them? Taha sampati nana. There is peace, there is happiness, there is prosperity, there is spiritual evolution. Everything auspicious happens to a person who entertains only good thoughts, discourages all bad thoughts. But on the other hand, Jahan Kumati, where a person is entertaining negative thoughts and acting upon it, Taha Bipati Nidhana, there all tragedies and calamities happen. Right? Good thoughts and bad thoughts, they are there in our hearts. Both of them are there. It is up to us whom to nourish. So this concept comes from which Upanishad? Kathopanishad. Shreyascha preyascha manushyametah tau samparitya vivinakti dhirah Shreyo hi dhiro vipreyaso vranite Preyo mando yogakshemat vranite. It comes in Kathopanishad. Who is the Guru in Kathopanishad? Yamaraj. Who is the Shishya of Kathopanishad? Nachiketa. So Yamaraj is telling Nachiketa, oh dear child, in everyone's life, two things are always there. In every situation, Shreyas and Preyas. Shreyas is called path of good. Preyas is called path of the pleasant. Path of good and path of pleasant. This comes to everyone, in every situation. The wise people, Dhira, Buddhiman, what does he do? He chooses Shreyas and gives up prayers. Whereas Manda, ignorant one, immature one, unevolved ones, they choose prayers. So in our language, we can put it, the path of the intellect and the path of the mind. What is intellect? That faculty in us which decides based on what is right and what is wrong. That faculty is called intellect. And what is mind? That faculty in us which decides based on what I like and what I don't like. That is called as mind. So intellect says, this is right, let us do it. This is wrong, let us not do it. This is the way the intellect will say. Intellect will decide. What will the mind say? This I like, let us do it. This I don't like, let us not do it. So intellect takes decisions based on right and wrong. Mind takes decision based on likes and dislikes. So in life, there can be 4 situations. What are the 4 situations? Something is there which I love doing it and that is right. Any problem? No problem. Second situation, something is wrong and I don't like it. Any problem? When does the problem come? Something is right and I don't like doing it. Something is wrong and I love doing it. Something is right and I dislike doing it. Something is wrong and I love doing it. This is where the tug of war begins. There is a Kurukshetra inside. The war between the Pandavas and the Kauravas. And the Pandavas are always less in number. Kauravas are hundreds. Now what to do? It is a one-sided war generally. Pandava army also was 7 Akshauhini. Kauravas were 11. Army strength is also good. So, intellect and mind, this struggle is there. Everyone has to go through this. Everyone. I know something is right, but I don't like doing it. I know something is wrong, but I love it. So now, this is called as Sumati and Kumati. Okay. Sumati is the intellect, Kumati is the mind. And generally in this world, things are such a way that which I love the most is something which is wrong always. So now, depending upon whom we choose, intellect or mind, our life unfolds. Let us take a condition of a person who just listens to the mind, never to the intellect. Then what will happen to that personality? Mind-oriented personality or emotional personality. What I like, I will do. What I don't like, I don't do. I don't care whether it is right or wrong. What happens to them? You will find that in such people, slowly the intellect starts becoming weaker and weaker. Because that is a law. Whatever type of faculty you support, you listen to, that faculty becomes stronger. That faculty which you neglect, that becomes weaker. It is true with muscles also, isn't it? If you don't exercise, all your muscles will become weak. If you daily do your exercise, then muscles remain strong. So it is true with these faculties also. Intellect starts becoming weaker, mind starts becoming stronger. Ragadveshas become strong. Addictions become strong. specimens that we see in the society. Drug addicts, chain smokers, drunkards and all of them. They are all the samples of this. Those who have listened only to their mind, never listening to the wise guidance of their intellect. So in them what happens? The intellect becomes dull. Remember, intellect is like a torchlight. It shows you what is right, what is wrong, what is the path. So when that intellect becomes dull, you are not able to decide what is good for you, what is bad, what is right, what is wrong, what I should do, what I should not do. There is complete, utter confusion in their life because intellect is weak. They suffer and they make everyone suffer. This is what happens when you all the time give preference to the mind. The decision making, whom are you following? This is the question. Whom are you feeding? Intellect or mind? Whomever you feed, that becomes strong. Now on the other hand, suppose here is a person who listens only to the intellect. He says, if it is right, I am going to just do it. Using my willpower, I will just do it. I don't care whether I like it or not. This is good, I am just doing it. If this way, if a person proceeds, that intellect becomes brighter and brighter, subtler and subtler, purer and purer. Remember, to live your convictions, there is a struggle. You are struggling against your likes and dislikes. You are fighting against your likes and dislikes. You are fighting against your addictions. You are fighting against your negative habits. In every fight, there is a pain, there is a struggle, and every struggle is blessed in this world. Wherever there is pain, there has to be gain. This is a law. No pain, no gain. Wherever there is pain, there has to be a gain. So what is the gain of this person? Every time he struggles against his own negativities, his own addictions, habits, every time that struggle, his spiritual muscle starts growing. Like a gym, you struggle with weight, you struggle with gravity, then what happens? That struggle expresses as physical muscles. In the same way, when you struggle with morality, ethics, righteousness, you fight against your own all negative tendencies which pull you down. When you struggle, there is a spiritual muscle that develops. The physical muscle can be seen, the spiritual muscle can be intuitively experienced. It is not seen by others, but you can experience it. So what happens to a person who always listens to Sumati, the intellect? That intellect starts becoming brighter and brighter, sharper, subtler, purer, and with that pure, bright intellect, he is very able to clearly see what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad, what is dharma, what is adharma. Everything becomes clearly evident. There is no confusion. There is a lot of clarity in handling every situation. You see, there are all the subtle benefits of spiritual person. And finally, the very same pure intellect becomes the voice of conscience, voice of God. The very same purified intellect becomes the voice of God. That person is guided by the divine. So whenever something has to be done, inspiration automatically comes. Inspiration from the divine. Whatever is necessary to do that, you need inspiration, you need concentration, you need right attitude, you name it. It comes. This is the benefit of a pure, intellect. You see, these are all the subtle benefits only a spiritual person enjoys. Others are not even aware of all these great truths. So therefore, that is what is being said here. A person who listens to the intellect. A time comes when you are constantly listening to your intellect, a time comes when whatever is right, you start loving it. And whatever is wrong, you start hating it. Means what? The mind and intellect becomes one. This is called as integration of personality. Such a personality is called as integrated personality. He is fully integrated within. What is the proof that your personality is integrated within? The proof is the lower in you readily comes under the discipline of the higher. The lower readily comes under the discipline of the higher. That is called as integration. Then there is always peace. The higher must always rule the lower. If this is happening, everything is fine with you. In fact, this is true with every aspect. The higher should always rule the lower. For example, if there has to be peace and harmony in the family, what should happen? The children must obey the parents. Yes or no? Because children are lower, parents are higher. But suppose children are ruling over the parents, then that family will disintegrate very soon. In the same, in any organization, the boss must rule the other people. If that is happening, the lower ones are readily obeying the higher. With all respect and reverence, that organization will go smoothly. The nation will have no problem. In the same way, in our personality, there are so many gradations. What are they? Indriyani paranyaho indriyebhyah param manah manasastu para buddhi yo buddhev paratastu saha. Bhagwan says, compared to the sense objects, sense organs are higher. Indriyani paranyahu indriyebhyah param manah. Compared to the sense organs, mind is higher. Manasastu para buddhi. Compared to the mind, intellect is higher. And compared to the intellect, he, the Supreme Self, the Lord, the pure consciousness, he is higher. So this is called as gradation. Right? So sense organs must be ruled by the mind. Mind must be ruled by the intellect. And the intellect should always be in tune with the ultimate realityness. If this is there, everything is fine with that person. But if even at some stage ulta happens, the lower is ruling the higher, then the gone case. Indriyanam vicharatam yanmano vidhiyate tadasya harate prajna vayurnavam iva ambhasi. What is the example given? Suppose there is a boat which is not anchored. What happens to that boat or the ship? It gets carried away by the directionless wind. In the same way, a person who is not rooted to the higher, his sense organs will wander along with the sense objects. Mind will wander along with the sense organs. And the intellect will just follow this vicious mind. This is what is going to happen. Total disintegration within. Such a person's life will be a messy life, full of mess. You see? So therefore, these are the benefits of disciplining oneself. Whatever I am convinced that this is true, this is right, I should just do it. If this happens, then your progress in spirituality will be very fast. Listen to your intellect. Listen to what it says. Just follow it. Obey it. Let there not be any guilt. Always what happens is, when you listen to your mind and don't listen to your intellect, after everything is over, there is a guilt. There is a conscience prick. What is that conscience prick? It is a voice of God saying, my dear child, what you have done is wrong. That guilt is a voice of God. It's a very sacred voice. Listen to that voice. Pay attention to it. Obey that voice. It's the voice of your Creator. Never disregard it. Never ignore it. Because you will have to pay a heavy price later. If you are an obedient child of Lord, everything auspicious will happen to you. Life will be smooth. But if you disobey Him, disregard Him, then there is only pain and suffering. See? In the beginning it may be difficult. Agre vishamiva. But pariname amrutopamam. In the beginning it is like poison. But in the end it is nectarian. It is amrutam. What about life of indulgence? Life of yielding to temptations? Agre amrutam. Agre amrutopamam. Pariname visham. In the beginning it is nectarian, in the end it is misery. Visham, poison. Right. So for today, 8:30, right? Okay. In a minute we will cover this portion also. So dear brother, Sumati and Kumati, this is there in every one of us. Those who listen to this Sumati, prosperity, plenty, spiritual progress, everything happens to them. They create a heaven around themselves. But those people who listen to their Kumati, they are completely destroyed. Brother, tava ura Kumati basi viparita, hita anahita mana uripuprita. Dear brother, unfortunate, but I have to say this, your mind is occupied by that Kumati, wickedness. You are possessed by that. And therefore, what is happening is, those people who are using sweet words, you think they are your friends. Actually, they are your enemies. They are just speaking what is sweet to hear, but absolutely untrue. Then you consider your friends. Actually, they are your enemies. On the other hand, those people who are speaking the truth, it is bitter, but it is true. They you consider as your enemy. So therefore, give up this infatuation, give up this false pride, surrender unto Bhagvan. Tat charana gahi magahu rakhahu mora dular. Sita dehu Rama kahu ahitana hoy tumar. Oh dear brother, if you have even little love for me, actually Ravana loved Vibhīṣaṇa very much. At least for that sake of that love and affection which you have towards me, I sincerely request you, plead in front of you, give back Sita Mata. He might not have used Sita Mata, he might have used Sita or Sita Ji, whatever. But we have to use that term. Give back Sita and then surrender unto Bhagwan. That is what is good for you. What What does Ravana do then? That we will see tomorrow. Okay. Is this discussion useful? Yes. Okay. Atma Ramananda Ramana Atma Ramananda Ramana Achyuta Keshava Hari Narayana Achyuta Keshava Hari Narayana Bhava Bhaya Harana Vandita Charana Bhava Bhaya Harana Vandita Charana Raghukula Bhushana Rajiva Lochana Raghukula Bhushana Rajiva Lochana Adi Narayana Ananta Shayana Adi Narayana Ananta Shayana Sachidananda Satya Narayana Sachidananda Satya Narayana Bhava Bhaya Harana Vandita Charana Raghukula Bhushana Rajiva Lochana Atma Rama Ananda Ramana Ananda Ramana Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om